Hi everyone, I'm Grand Fomorian, and this is my comprehensive guide on how to complete Bloodborne any percent without taking damage. When I went to do my first no damage run, I noticed that there isn't a nice single place to find all the info you might need aside from simply watching every other no damage run that's been done before. This guide is meant to help others in their attempts for no damage run, as well as documenting some existing strats. Now, down to some of the run particulars. As part of this run, you cannot take damage from any source. That includes attacks from enemies, environmental damage, such as from poison in the swamps or walking into fires. Fall damage is not allowed. You cannot use blood bullets, and 3 or more consecutive ticks of frenzy will also deal damage. To accommodate these restrictions, almost every major area in the run is changed in some way from the typical no-hit route that you might see. Biggest changes being adding Cleric Beast as a boss fight, running sections in Old Yharnam, Cathedral Ward, and Forbidden Woods, as well as a more stressful way through the Nightmare of Mensis. I'm not going to cover all aspects of the normal no-hit route or boss attacks. Other guides exist for that, some of which I'll put in the description below. With that being said, let's get on with the run. This route is also usable on both a leveled or a BL4 run. For this purpose, I used my leveled no damage run, but it's also essentially the same route that I used on my BL4 no damage, no HUD run. You have a classic start. You run down to the wolf. A big theme across this run will be stamina management. I like to kill the wolf, sometimes to my own detriment, but you can pass by if you know how to deal with him. I have a very specific way of getting past these hunters, because you want to drop the ladder and grab the Molotovs that are nearby. So I wait here, bait an attack, roll away, roll it and break that, then run all the way back to the ladder. Make sure that to bait an attack from the huntsman with the torch. Otherwise, he'll follow you straight up to the ladder. And we're gonna go back to the dream, because on a no damage run, you are not allowed to use the saw spear. The only way to grab it is by taking a bunch of falls. So we go to the dream just to grab a weapon. And back to Central Yharnam. So this will look mostly the same from a normal no-hit. The thing is, the first drop that you are going to take is very specific. There's a coffin or box that you're going to drop down on, and you have to drop down, otherwise you'll take fall damage. So you want to kind of round that railing. Some people walk into the railing and then drop off. grab those mollies and make sure that you don't get hit by the fire or any of the hunters. I don't look back there, but you could. So this is different. You have to kill this dog, and then you go to unlock the house shortcut, because we're going to come back for Cleric Beast. Running R1, 2 R1s kills this guy, 2 R1s kills him. And you also want to grab those pungents. They'll be useful later on in Old Yharnam. So I bait an attack and then wait, because he can drop down like that. This was a little scarier than normal, but you essentially want to wait for him at the bottom of the stairs and then just blast him with 3 hits. So you Molotov this dog here, and then you can sprint. Watch your stamina. You never want it to run out completely. And then you start running at the top of the stairs. Run to the left and hug the wall. It's perfectly fine to run past that beast. Start running here and straight to the ladder. The gunman that just fired will always miss you. So remember, no falls. You have to take ladders on all of these pathways. I fight Gascoigne with the music box, so I take the ladder up, but if you're comfortable with fighting him straight up, by all means, it'll more than likely be a faster run. Depending on RNG, of course. The big thing for a no damage run I found was making sure that you don't accidentally jump off. So for this, a lot of people would just send themselves over the edge, but you have to take the ladder, otherwise you take damage there. And no cool parkour skips either. I run past these 3 witches in the sewers here. Sometimes I will choose to kill them with the Molotovs. But if you're okay with the early reset every once in a while, then you can run past. A lot of these early kills that I do, I only do on a leveled run, because over time all of the smaller kills will add up. Also, I need to grab the badge, and I honestly just feel safer killing the pig than running past it. So I missed all of these. But I always kill that first dude, and will only kill the troll if he hits himself on the fire. Getting some awful Gascoigne RNG with him just shooting.
stings to me. It's enough to make a man sick.
This script is the same on blood level 10 or 4. So if you're not doing a no-hit run, you straight just want to do no damage, it's actually okay to take the stagger from his transformation, because I don't think it deals damage. I will correct myself if I'm wrong. This fall is actually very important. If you go off the left side, there is a possibility that you will take damage. So you always want to go straight ahead. There's a couple ways to do this next section in Cathedral Ward. I parried the 2 church goers and kill them that way. There is a way that I will kind of use later where you wait for them to pass by, and you can pretty much do this section the same way. I just found this to be faster, and I'm comfortable with parrying them. The main grabs are the Hunter's Garb, and then all of the shards that we're about to grab. So you want to slow walk that whole way and then sprint. That crow and troll won't ever get close enough to actually aggro you. You want to stay kind of attached and hug the railing, and this church giant will never get up. And then you can just run back. You want to go on the outside of the tree, because sometimes the crow won't have moved for whatever reason. I have seen a run where somebody closed that gate and the giant wasn't a problem later on. I didn't do it in this run, but it is something that you can do. I threw 2 mollies because I thought the first one missed. And because I threw that second one, I decided to kill the dogs here with the cleaver instead of Molotovs. And like I said, on a leveled run, I like to kill as many enemies as I can that are safe, just because the echoes add up. So I kill that guy. Come and grab the fire paper from Alfred. One thing I should say is I grab several Madman's Knowledge that I probably don't need to grab, but I save Insight to get a blood chunk after One Reborn. So some of the knowledge that I pick up is probably not necessary. You do want to grab this blood gem. It's not a lot of damage that it's going to add, but you kind of want as much as you can get for Cleric Beast. So we are going to go into Old Yharnam. You do this in order to grab the Beast Blood pellets that are in the alleyway, and then killing BSB gives you the required blood echoes that you need in order to buy the emblem to get into Cathedral Ward, which we have to take that way in order to not take fall damage in Upper Cathedral. So I kill this here. I go back to the dream here, which you can do at any point between beating Gascoigne and now. But you should go back to the dream. I just do it here because I have enough to get a +3 cleaver, which will make for a faster, easier BSB. And subsequently, I use it for fighting Cleric Beast. The reason you come back is in order to get enough blood pungence to safely go through Old Yharnam, which is the real important part of coming back to the dream. And some of the blood pungents that I use are, in some sense, unnecessary, but they make for a more consistent run through the area, or at least a less terrifying way to run through the area. The first two that I throw, I would say, are necessary.
Didn't you see the warning? Turn back at once.
So this one, in order to distract the two beasts that are sitting there. And then another one that you want to throw as far into the center as possible to get this guy on the stairs and any other beast that would follow you. The next three are the ones that I would say are optional depending on how you decide to run through it and how comfortable you are with beasts getting close to you. You grab this fire paper and throw a pungent into the corner. That will distract any beast inside that might have aggroed to you or might be following you. You want to run all the way to the corner. Now, I threw the pungent in that corner, but really you should throw it in the center in order to get that beast that I kind of just ran past. But it should be safe either way. This is another blood pungent that you want to throw as far as you can to get as many of the beasts as possible. This last one will never get aggroed if you threw it where I did. So you want to take this real wide. He has a lunge attack that can sometimes catch you. All this is pretty standard no hit stuff from this point onward. I do always kill this beast as long as there's not a beast following me. I will shoot and kill this one. And I do that because sometimes he will drop a beast blood pellet. Also, I just don't like that when you go back, he follows you. I stop at that corner and then walk until I'm in front of that hooded beast. You need to grab 2 Bolt Hunter's marks. Since we're killing Cleric Beast, we can buy them. So that pickup isn't 100% necessary, but you either need to pick up those 2 or buy 2 after Cleric Beast. I missed the cool parry on that one, but I get it this second time. I also missed the back stab. So with Bloodstarved Beast out of the way, I swap all of my clothing to the hunter set. I don't use the hat. You can if you want that little bit of extra beast hood, but it's not really necessary. And I'd rather just sell it. So before we go to Cleric Beast, this is when you want to level up. So I use the cold blood that I had picked up near the pig in central Yharnam, and then sell whatever I have available, which is the starting clothing, the top hat, and then I had picked up an extra shard that I sold. And you want your stats to be 17 strength and 15 skill for what I do, or would normally be.
Farewell, good.
You can just run past all of these guys. I stopped to regen stamina on a couple places, but it's not too terribly specific as long as you're between enemies. So I stop in front of the carriage right by these statues. Paper, pellet. I have the Molotovs in case I have something go wrong, which it did. You're actually supposed to get a visceral at the start, but because of stamina management, it's a little bit more difficult. So you don't have to do a running R1 into charge R2 if your stamina management is not great or you're just not comfortable with it. On the appropriate opener, he would have been about a half health. You really only have to learn a couple of Cleric Beast moves. If you play back, he has a very limited moveset, most of which you're either safe from or you can punish by rolling in and doing a rolling L1. The main thing is you want to wait for him to heal and then break a limb on that one of those roll-ins, or you want to do it to like stagger him after heal. replenish all of our supplies. You buy the emblem in order to get through Cathedral Ward. Now I have a very specific way that I pick up twin shards, one of which requires going and getting the beast that you would normally get on the way to Upper Cathedral. So I still go grab him, but then I mark out to come back to the lamp using the hunter's mark, the regular one, not the bold hunter's mark. And if you're comfortable, whether on BL4 or a leveled run, doing, you know, Cleric Beast +0 or having a +3 for Amelia, you don't have to grab these. You can do some other route that has you grab more in woods, but this is just what I do. It's also useful for BL4. Having that +4 for Amelia makes it entirely scripted. Just cleaning up some items. So this is where I wait. Now, for this particular moment, I wait until he gets off the stairs and is walking on flat ground. Then you take it wide around the well. Regen a little stamina and start running on the stairs. Most times that giant won't even see you, and if he does, he will only yell and won't actually hit you. There's two ways to get through Cathedral Ward. This is the way that I think is more safe and consistent, but I'm gonna come back and show you guys an alternate route through here. So you want to round that and attack as before you even really see him, because he can instantly queue an attack. Now there's a wandering beastman and gunner down the sewer or down the alley. So you throw this blood cocktail to distract him, and you're safe from the gunman as long as you've timed things correctly. It's better to be earlier on the blood pungent throw and have to throw possibly 2 of them, just so that the gunman is far enough away. Like, he's almost at the beginning of the alley for me here. So you grab these poison knives, which we also grabbed another 12 earlier. That will be important because the only way to kill Micolash is with poison knives. So you throw 2 mollies here. All these hunters will come down the stairs, and you kill the first one with a molly. Technically, you can kill all of these guys with items, but I'm comfortable with killing them just using melee. I could hear this guy aggro to me again, so I kind of stayed down here and waited to see what he would do. But sometimes he'll just go back up and you can go straight to him. So this is another thing that I do. I grab that cold blood and then I aggro these two, the crow and the brain sucker, because I'm going to make a big loop around and grab the twin shards and the gem that are over there. Brain sucker really didn't want to cooperate, but you can just wait. You want them to be together. If you don't care about spending the mollies, you can do them individually. So here's the alternative route. You go and grab this cold blood just like before, but instead of going down the alleyway proper, you go straight to where the crow and the brain sucker are, and you kill them with 1 molly each. You might miss 1 or 2 of these, in which case you can always make adjustments. You do this to check to see if anything aggroed to you and make sure that they're in the places they should be. So that's me grabbing the gem that we're gonna see me grab later on. You want to lock on, and I wait back here to try to bait out his first gunshot, and then you're free to throw those items. This will aggro one of the hunters and the beast man, and then we throw the pungent to get the 2 beast men up against the railing, and you can start throwing mollies to kill them. If you have oil urns, this would be a good place to use them too. Be careful about using melee there, because they can hit you as well. And you can melee kill that guy through the wall. Be sure to be right up against the railing, otherwise you'll hit the rails. And you just backstab this guy and he's dead. So we didn't go and grab poison knives, so we have to run down and grab those, as well as the Black Church set, which we're going to sell later on. And there you go. There's the alternative route. Now we're back at the normal route. For this one, like I said, I'm going to take a big loop around. You can fall and take damage here, so there's a ladder on the left that you can take, but if you want to be fast, you just have to walk off and fall correctly. I watch these two, make sure they're up on the stairs, and throw a pungent. There's a dog below, which you can kill with a Molotov, but depending on which strat you use, or just personal preference, you might want to save that Molotov. I found the pungent was safe and I had more of them. Yeah, we mark back in order to upgrade the cleaver. This is why you needed to buy the 2 bold hunters marks or grab the pickup in old Yharnam. This also gives you an opportunity to level up and restock any consumables that you might need. So for example, if you go back now like I did, you won't have to later when you get to woods. Just checking to make sure that I sold everything I needed to. I had a little extra blood echoes, so I got to 20 and 15. Normally, I think I would be at 19 and 15 though. And now it's straight to Amelia. I forgot that I did not level up my cleaver, so I ended up going back to the dream in order to do that. On a leveled run, you probably wouldn't need to go back, but I have tested this on BL4 several times, and if you don't have a +4 cleaver with the right gem, you just barely don't do enough damage in the script that I have. So I grabbed this cold blood. I would not grab it on a BL4, but blood echoes are blood echoes. I also grabbed these in order to time so that he is on the stairs. He didn't give me the attack that I wanted. And quite honestly, I don't think I've seen that move a ton. So I just kind of rolled and prayed. So I missed on her arm there. But as you can see, you deal so much damage that even with that, it's a pretty safe and comfortable fight. Now it's the long trek to Forbidden Woods. Everything here is pretty normal. As I said before, I grab a lot of Madman's knowledge that is probably unnecessary, but you know, if you expect to be using a ton of pungents, or like me, you want to grab a blood chunk, feel free to pick up all the ones that I do as well. It's also good to have them just for safety, because at the end, when we get to the nightmare, you're gonna want every blood pungent you have, or you can get your hands on. So you can't take the big falls here, of course. There is a cold blood there that I didn't grab. It's not necessary, but if you want to grab it. So I run at that tree and go full sprint to pick up these shards, and then you walk here. This beast will not notice you. If he does, you can either roll past him, or you can throw a blood pungent to distract him and then run to the lamp. So this is the way that I would normally go through the woods. I will also give a alternative way of passing this area. I kill both of those guys because I want to grab this. It is essential that you kill this beast because you cannot take any falls from up here. So normally you would run past him and then take a drop, but all of those deal damage. I throw just to hit the two dogs and not aggro the huntsman. If you do aggro him, it's not that big a deal. By the time that you run over here, he will have de-aggroed. Throw mollies to kill him. The second molly didn't kill him, but the third one did. You can kill him in two if you wait for him to put his shield up completely and start walking to you. So I shot him to get him to aggro to me, but you can throw a throwing knife. Be careful to watch all those fires. And take this real wide. One, so that the oil urns don't hit you, and two, so you have as much time to deal with that guy as you can. Two shots will break this guy's guard. I thought he was gonna die in one hit, but it took two. This is the alternative route for going through woods. In some ways it's a little bit cozier, in others I don't like it as much. But if you don't want to grab the twin blood shard or just like this one more, it's a kind of interesting way. You still have to kill this guy because you're gonna run. This way has you kill less huntsmen, but the huntsmen that you do have to kill are the oil ones, and I personally find them a little bit more scary. You can, if you find the right angle, get both dogs with one molly, and then you will always hit the oil urn guy. If you just stand back far enough, his oil urns won't hit you. So one important thing is that his oil urns will go over you is one. And two, I've been using a lot of throwing knives on this version. So I did not buy them in the route. You would have to buy those earlier. And just make a note of that. There you go. You didn't have to deal with the fires or huntsmen potentially chasing you down. So in some senses it's a safer strat, but in others it's I don't like it because of the oil urn guys, and you make your decision on what you are more comfortable with. And then the rest of this is pretty much the same as the hitless routes up until we get past the cannon. I got lucky there. He dropped a twin shard. As always, killing these dogs and grabbing the blue elixirs in the house is pretty much essential for the run. Watch to be certain that you don't hit that fire. That's honestly arguably more terrifying than the enemies you run past. Normally I would grab the shards that are here, but since the Beastman earlier had dropped one, I didn't have to grab it this time. You can safely just run past this guy. He'll do his transformation and won't follow you outside of the... I guess this is a lighthouse? Now, I didn't have throwing knives, so I decided to quick step past him, but... if I had throwing knives, I would have killed him. That's actually the strat that I use on BL4. One thing you might have noticed is because we cannot take the drop to Upper Cathedral or through Upper Cathedral to Abandoned Workshop, you don't get the doll set, which is a big source of blood echoes. That's one of the reasons why I'm killing all of these things and grabbing so many cold bloods, is to kind of make up that difference. That is also why I do this. This is arguably risky, but in order to make up that difference, you can do this strat. Be sure to kind of sit on the edge of the elevator and walk off as it's nearing the end, because Vaulter will not land on you, probably. It's pretty rare. But this guy is much more likely to actually clip you while you're on the elevator. So you just wait for him to fall and then back up. And I think with all of the things that I've picked up and the stuff I'm going to sell, you get to the typical 25-20 for strength and skill that you would want on a normal no-hit run. Selling all that I have and making sure I buy the mollies here. You can actually wait to do this after shadows if you want, but I buy the mollies and the throwing knives for ROM in case I don't in one cycle here.
Very well lit. Farewell.
And with that, it's off to shadows. So if you killed Valter, you're going to spawn into the area and get that item. I will sell it later, but not until we're in Yahar'gul. All this is pretty standard for the no-hit run. It changes right after this snake. So normally you would keep running straight on ahead and take a drop, but that deals damage. So what some people will do is they'll go straight and then turn left and follow the road and take what I consider to be the long way around. You can actually just take a left straight here, and this snake man will always summon snakes, all of which you can run past freely. This drop doesn't deal damage, so feel free to use it in order to get past the witches that are in the swampy area. Now, because you picked up extra fire paper in old Yharnam, I actually use a fire paper and a pellet at the start of this fight. And you can fight shadows however you want. I'm a little bit more aggressive, I would say, than most people. I also strafe the fireballs and stuff like that. I'm also not afraid to trade with the Katana Shadow. Well, it's not truly a trade because I beat him to it. So I bait out an attack from him in order to take the pellet. There you go. That's shadows. For me, that's a very clean shadows. Depending on how you view it, you might not think so. I still have the pellet going, so I try my best to head on over quickly to Byrgenwerth. And that pellet stays until I kill these two bugs that are down here. This is one opportunity where you can use a blue elixir. I don't do the fast way through Byrgenwerth, but it is an option available to you. You will have enough elixirs. I also opened the shortcut back to Rom just in case I need to bone out. Also, this route is, like I said, usable on BL4 as well. It's nicer to have that open just in case something goes wrong. Do not drop down the ladder. You must take the ladder. Yes, you will take damage there. So for Rom, this is a leveled run. The spiders aren't that big a deal. You isolate one of them and you kill them like normal. For this run, I figured I would showcase the Rom gunspin strat, which I wouldn't do on leveled normally, but I know some people have a hard time doing that, or you know, getting it consistently. And on BL4, the one cycle is RNG with if you don't use the gun spin. So I figured just to showcase it, I would use it here. The spiders really didn't want to cooperate. So in typical fashion, pellet, puncher in the head. On leveled, you want to get to about half beast meter. and then you're good to go. So I dodge in 2 L1s. You want to make sure you do less than 1,000 damage, and then you just shoot to the side of her. 5 R1s. You can get 2 more R1s and then a charge R2. R1 L1. It's pretty much the exact same on BL4 with a couple extra added R1s. I actually have a video that kind of more showcases how you can actually do that spin. And there's 2 ways to get through this portion of Yahar'gul. It essentially boils down to if you want to get bolt paper or not for later in the game. Mergo, for example. It's not necessary, which is why I didn't do it here. But I figured I would give you the option and kind of showcase how to grab them if you so desire. So this is where I use a blue elixir because I wanted to grab that chunk. And without a blue elixir, these guys at the bottom would be aggroed. And you're going to have to use a blue elixir eventually for this next part right here. So I take it earlier, but you could take it right now if you so chose. You run through the hall, open the door, and roll in case the troll aggroed or you were slow. So here's the alternative route through Yahar'gul in order to grab the bolt paper. So I go through with no elixir just to showcase the normal strat. You can grab the bolt paper and then you can mark out if you want to. Or if you want to try it, you can jump down here a couple ways. This is the way I prefer. And then you can go right on the normal path. So here we are back at the normal route. You kill this beast, wandering madness, whatever you choose to call it. I got the item meme there, which is, you know, great. And this is where I use my last blue elixir. Some people will choose to not use one of the elixirs I did earlier in order to have it for the Nightmare of Mensis, which I will point out when to use it when it becomes necessary. I don't like going the front way here down those stairs. I go up that elevator mainly because, like I said, on BL4 you kind of want as much damage as you can get. The timing to get off the elevator is not too precise. Just be careful you don't wait too long. Throw the pungents to distract the dogs for a safe run to the teleporter. You take this in order to get on these stairs and eventually pick up the blood gem. I just slow walk after he's far enough away. And I also slow walk here so I don't aggro the beast lower on the ground. I got memed here with the PlayStation controller that we all know and love. And then I mark out. So that's why you need the 2 Bold Hunters marks. You don't have to do that, like I said, on a leveled run. You could just go straight to One Reborn and you'd probably be okay. This is when I sell the helm that I got from Voltar earlier. Use these cold bloods and level up. I think I get up to like 30 something strength, 34 or 5.
Very well.
Oh no, I did 30, 25. I'm just double checking, making sure that I didn't forget anything. So here you want to slow walk, otherwise the gunman will turn around and try to shoot you. Here I run early. You want to wait until you're at the bottom of the stairs to actually run, because this will happen. Luckily he shot past me, but it is not fun when that happens on your no damage run. You have to kill these guys because you have to take the ladder. This is classic One Reborn. I don't think any memes happened. Oh, no. There was that. Aside from that. Do I wait here just to bait out that last spike? And with that, it is on to the most terrifying part of the no damage run. And the part my verifiers loved when I did no damage, no HUD. The dangerous parts aren't here yet. I'm low on pungence, but we're gonna go to the dream in order to spend all the insight and get more pungence anyways. We only need one for this first silver beast. If you throw that there, you can freely kill this madness and the silver beast won't follow you. Hang to the right. The brain works off of line of sight. So you want to obstruct his vision, its vision. Here I use up all my madness. I think, do I need to buy any more items? I only buy or have 6 here. If you want to spend blood echoes on more pungence, you can. At this point in the game, they're pretty expensive, so I decide not to. And I'm pretty comfortable with the strat. Please, if you are concerned that you don't have enough, buy them.
Very well. Farewell, good husband.
Frenzy will only deal damage to you once you have taken 3 ticks of it consecutively, meaning back to back. And as I've stated before, the brain works off of line of sight. So if you take 2 ticks, you can see in the left hand side at the health bar that my health doesn't go down, and we actually have a convenient little icon from one of our blood gems to show that we're at max health. You can then see that I take 3 consecutive ticks of damage and my health starts to decrease. So the whole path through the nightmare, you want to try to distract the brain, leaving its attention on the silver beast while also staying behind rocks to keep yourself out of harm's way, interrupting any frenzy ticks that you might take en route to Micolash. So I run up here. You throw this to get that first silver beast, and I run here to block his line of sight as quickly as possible. Throw these 2 pungents to make sure they don't follow you. The main point is to make sure that that silver beast is not close to this rock. If you throw enough pungents, the first 2 silver beasts will be far enough away for long enough to where you can get this cycle. And this is also why some people will use a blue elixir. I grabbed this cold blood just because easy levels. So we're past the hard part, or the more terrifying part of the nightmare. But we still have Micolash and Nurse and the areas between them. You can grab these blue elixirs like I do here. They're very useful, especially to get to Wet Nurse, but make sure you do not take that fall right by them. You have to go down the stairs. Now, I added the poison knives here a little late, but a very big thing about Mikolash's arena is that he will talk at random points. And if you are menuing while he talks, it closes your menu. If you hit up while menuing and it just closed, you will do blood bullets and it will end your run. Make sure you have all of your items equipped and ready before you enter the arena.
Majestic!
I take the left down the stairs in order to grab these blood chunks. Don't follow it too far because there are enemies down there. And you can just get the chunks later. Not that big a deal. It's just kind of a time save.
As you once did for the vacuous
So you have to use the poison knife strat on Miko. I got good RNG here. There is a second point where you can cheese him. And I'll just fast forward through this. So when you don't get the good RNG, Micolash will just run straight and go through the mirror. This puppet will come to life. You can either shoot him or wait for an attack. If you're comfortable, you can just run through the door. The idea is to force Micolash to right before he goes through the mirror to come back to the central area. You stand off to the side. You can actually get a little bit closer if you want to. Just hug the left so the mannequin that's right there doesn't wake up. And you throw 3 knives and that's it. One last time going to the Hunter's Dream in order to level up and upgrade. And also grab these beast blood pellets. I restock my poison knives because you can poison wet nurse. It's not useful on, or as useful I should say, on a leveled or even a BL4 run, but I have them if I need them. I check to make sure that I have my blue elixir and blood pungents, because you cannot take the drop to go the back way. You have to go through the pigs in order to get to wet nurse.
Very well. Let me. Farewell, good hunt.
So here's where I take the blue elixir, throw a pungent. On a level, you can kill the pig, but there's not really that much of a reason to. These pigs get distracted by the pungent, so why take the extra risk? If your timing is correct, you can just go wide past the shadow enemies and head on straight to Wet Nurse. And with that, you have a full no damage run. All that's left is fighting Wet Nurse. And there you have it. Completing the game of Bloodborne without taking damage. Simply go submit to Gehrman and your run is done. I hope you've learned some useful tips from this video. If there are any questions you might have, feel free to comment below and I will answer to the best of my ability. You can also join the Team Hitless Discord where other runners might be able to answer better than I can. Finally, good luck on getting your no damage run.
Oh. This too is hunter's work, but it bears no honour. A burden you may choose to carry. The decision is yours alone.